Okay, in this video, I want to show you quotes by some of our most popular atheists or agnostics who have said, hey, it seems like that there's a designer who designed the universe. Now that's of course contrary to their most hardcore inner beliefs, but when they start to see the evidence, a lot of them begin to question those beliefs. So I'm going to read off of my laptop here some of the quotes for you. Okay, Evolution, A Theory in Crisis, a great book, page 268. It says, another Nobel Prize winner, biochemist Francis Crick, in his book, Life Itself, concedes, an honest man, armed with all the knowledge available to us now, could only state that in some sense the origin of life appears at the moment to be almost a miracle. So many are the conditions which would have had to have been satisfied to get it going. Okay? Again, these are non-believers saying these things, that it seems like there's some sort of a miracle, an intelligent designer. Okay, now Thomas Nagel is actually honest about his atheistic beliefs and wants atheism to be true, doesn't want God to be true, because if God is true, then we have to follow him, and if that's true, then I don't just get to do what I want. He says in the book Undeniable, page 8, he says, I want atheism to be true and am made uneasy by the fact that some of the most intelligent and well-informed people I know are religious believers. It isn't just that I don't believe in God and naturally hope that I'm right in my belief. It's that I hope there's no God. I don't want there to be a God. I don't want the universe to be like that. Let's go to Case for Creator by Lee Strobel, page 247. Darwinist philosopher Michael Ruse, okay, this is a Darwinist, not a believer, says, quote, why should a bunch of atoms have thinking ability? Why should I, even as I write now, be able to reflect on what I am doing? And why should you, even as you read now, be able to ponder my points, agreeing or disagreeing, with pleasure or pain, deciding to refute me or deciding that I am just not worth the effort? No one, certainly not the Darwinian as such, seems to have any answer to this. The point is that there is no scientific answer. Okay, in the book God's Crime Scene by J. Warner Wallace, it says on page 51, even Paul Davies, who is agnostic when it comes to the notion of a divine designer, readily stipulated, everyone agrees that the universe looks as if it was designed for life. Richard Dawkins on page 100 says Richard Dawkins would be the first to agree. Richard Dawkins, quote, he says, biology is the study of complicated things that give the appearance of having been designed for a purpose. So he's saying, oh, it appears that things were designed, but no, it wasn't designed. On page 109 in God's Crime Scene, it says, Charles Darwin in On the Origin of Species said, if it could be demonstrated that any complex organ existed which could not possibly have been formed by numerous successive slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down. Okay, for the next quote, this is from the book Know Why You Believe by Paul E. Little, page 23. It says, Sir Fred Hoyle explains that it would be equally difficult for the accidental formation of only one of the many chains of amino acids in a living cell in which there are about 200,000 such amino acids. In his book Jesus Among Other Gods, Ravi Zacharias, the author, says that Chandra, this is a tough name, Wickremurra Singh, professor of applied mathematics at the University of Cardiff, Wales, reminded his readers that the statistical probability of forming even a single enzyme, the building block of the gene, which is in turn the building block of the cell, is 1 in 10 to the 40,000th. The translation of that figure is that it would require more attempts for the formation of one enzyme than there are atoms in all the stars of all the galaxies in the entire known universe. There's over 200 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy, and there's over 200 billion galaxies. So the chance of just one enzyme being formed, the chance is 1 in 10 to the 40,000th, which is the equivalent of all the atoms in the entire known universe. Okay, in the book Case for a Creator, page 63, Henry Gee, the chief science writer for Nature, okay, not a Christian magazine, science magazine, has said that all the fossil evidence for human evolution between 10 and 5 million years ago, several thousand generations of living creatures, can be fit into a small box. In the book The Creator and the Cosmos by Dr. Hugh Ross, an astrophysicist, he writes, in Stephen Hawking's words, time itself must have a beginning, page 73. Proof of the beginning of time may rank as the most theologically significant theorem of all time, assuming validity of the theory of general relativity. Stephen Hawking said, the discovery of the century, if not of all time, and, quote, what we have found is evidence for the birth of the universe. He said that there must have been an initiator of the beginning, which he referred to as a super intellect, God. Okay, in the book Understanding the Creation Evolution Debate by Dr. E.C. Ashby, he quotes Albert Einstein that says, science without religion is lame, religion without science is blind. In the book I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist by Dr. Norman Geisler and Dr. Frank Turek, it's again, Richard Dawkins admits that the message found, Richard Dawkins, ardent atheist, admits this, check this out. Dawkins admits that the message found in just the cell nucleus of a tiny amoeba is more than all 30 volumes of the Encyclopedia Britannica combined, and the entire amoeba has as much information in its DNA as 1,000 complete sets of the Encyclopedia Britannica. So a 30-volume set, Encyclopedia Britannica, times that by 1,000, and that's the amount of information inside of one of these amoebas. If simple messages such as "take out the garbage, Mom," would require an intelligent being, why doesn't a message 1,000 Encyclopedia Britannica volume sets long require one? Oxford mathematical physicist Roger Penrose, who partnered with Stephen Hawking to write The Nature of Space and Time, calculated that in order to start the universe so it would have the required state of low entropy, the setting would need to be accurate to a precision of 1 part in 10 to the 125th power. This mind-blowing number, Penrose said, would be impossible to write out in the usual decimal way, because even if you were able to put a 0 on every particle in the universe, there would not be even enough particles to do the job. That's again in I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist, page 178. In the book God and Stephen Hawking, Dr. John Lennox writes about Einstein writing, Einstein wrote, everyone who is seriously engaged in the pursuit of science becomes convinced that the laws of nature manifest the existence of a spirit vastly superior to that of men, and one in the face of which we, with our modest powers, must feel humble. That's page 44. And Charles Darwin himself, page 74, Dr. John Lennox quotes Charles Darwin saying, with me, the horrid doubt always arises whether the convictions of man's mind, which has been developed from the mind of the lower animals, are of any value or at all trustworthy.